It all started on what seemed like a perfectly ordinary morning. The city was alive, buzzing with the familiar rhythms of daily life. People rushed to work, the sound of car horns filled the streets, and the scent of freshly brewed coffee drifted from nearby cafes. Inside the elegant walls of the Grand Central Bank, employees were settling into their routines, attending to clients with polite smiles, stamping documents, processing transactions. Everything appeared calm on the surface, but what was about to happen would leave an irreversible mark on the people who witnessed it. Michael entered the bank with a quiet but steady determination. He was a man used to being overlooked, used to navigating spaces that were not built for him. Sitting in his wheelchair, immaculately dressed in a dark blue tailored suit, Michael carried himself with a dignity that spoke louder than words. To many, he was just another client. But today, he would become much more. His goal was simple: open a business account. He had worked tirelessly for years to build a company that would revolutionize accessibility for people with disabilities. His project wasn't just a business, it was a mission, a deeply personal endeavor to break barriers that society had quietly accepted. Today marked the beginning of an important expansion phase, and this account was essential to his plans. He entered with his documents carefully organized, fully prepared to handle the process. Approaching the customer service area, Michael was greeted by Brenda, a senior bank teller with a reputation that most preferred not to speak about openly. Among her colleagues, she was known for being sharp, impatient, and at times, unpleasant. Her thinly veiled disdain for certain clients had become something of an unspoken issue at the branch. But few dared to confront her. She had worked at the bank for over 15 years and carried herself as though she owned the place. Brenda didn't look up when Michael first addressed her. She was too busy typing, her attention fixed on her computer screen as if nothing else could possibly deserve her focus. When she finally glanced at him and noticed the wheelchair, her posture subtly shifted. There was a flicker of annoyance, a tightening around her lips that only someone paying close attention would have seen. "Good morning," Michael began politely. "I'd like to open a new business account." Brenda sighed, clearly unimpressed. "Business account? For you?" she said, the disbelief thick in her voice. "Do you have all the necessary paperwork?" Michael nodded, choosing to ignore the condescension in her tone. "Yes, I've brought everything you'll need." He handed her the folder, meticulously organized, each form signed, each identification properly included. Brenda flipped through the papers with minimal interest, barely hiding her impatience. Her eyes darted between the documents and Michael's wheelchair, as if searching for something she could question or reject. "You know," she said slowly, her voice dripping with fake concern, "running a business is not easy. It requires flexibility. It's not something everyone can handle." Michael remained silent, refusing to be drawn into her thinly disguised insults. He had faced this kind of prejudice before. He had learned that silence could be a powerful response, a shield against ignorance. But Brenda wasn't finished. She continued processing the account, making small, biting remarks that she thought were clever. "Do you plan to manage everything yourself?" she asked, her eyebrow raised. "Or will someone else be helping you with the more physical aspects?" There was no kindness in her question. It was a calculated jab, a deliberate attempt to diminish him. People nearby began to notice. Clients in the waiting area turned their heads, sensing that something wasn't right. Even a few of Brenda's colleagues cast uneasy glances in her direction, but no one intervened. Brenda leaned in slightly, her voice lowered but her words sharp and cruel. "What can you even do? Seriously, what are you capable of?" The air thickened with tension. A moment that might have broken another person passed over Michael like a breeze. He simply looked at Brenda, his expression calm, almost indifferent, and said, "Please proceed with opening the account." Brenda rolled her eyes, tapping angrily on her keyboard as if his composure frustrated her. She believed she had won, that she had put him in his place. But Brenda had made a critical mistake. What she didn't know was that Michael was not just an ordinary client. He was the founder and CEO of one of the fastest-growing fintech companies in the region, specializing in accessible banking solutions. His company had recently signed a multi-million-dollar partnership with the very bank she worked for. The deal was so significant that the regional manager himself had been personally assigned to oversee the success of the partnership. Michael was not only valued but essential to the bank's future strategy. After the account was finalized, Michael thanked Brenda politely, his calm demeanor unchanged. But as he left the branch, he pulled out his phone and made a brief but decisive call. Within hours, the bank's leadership was fully aware of the situation. Security footage was retrieved, customer complaints were reviewed, and several employees who had witnessed the interaction were interviewed. That very afternoon, the regional manager arrived at the branch. His face was serious, his movements precise. He requested to meet with Brenda immediately. She entered the office, still oblivious to the gravity of her actions, assuming it was just a routine conversation. But the weight of the moment soon pressed down on her. The manager calmly laid out the situation, recounting in exact detail the inappropriate comments she had made. Brenda tried to deny it, but the evidence was irrefutable. The security cameras had captured everything. She fumbled for excuses, claiming she was misunderstood, but the manager was unmovable. Her behavior had not only violated company policy, it had jeopardized a key partnership with one of the bank's most important clients. Brenda's termination was swift and final. Her years at the bank, her seniority, her imagined sense of untouchability, all dissolved in seconds. As she packed her belongings in silence, her eyes briefly met Michael's across the branch lobby. There was no anger in his gaze, no satisfaction in seeing her fall. Only a quiet strength, a reminder that some victories require no celebration. Michael's response was not fueled by revenge but by integrity. He had allowed the truth to unfold naturally, trusting the system to correct the injustice, and in doing so, he taught everyone present a valuable lesson. News of the incident spread quickly throughout the bank's network, and eventually, it reached the broader financial community. Michael's story became a symbol of resilience and grace. Interviews followed, invitations to speak at conferences, features in major publications. His company's mission gained even more visibility, and many clients chose to support his vision precisely because of the dignity with which he had handled the situation. Brenda's story faded, but Michael's influence only grew. He didn't need to shout, didn't need to fight back with cruelty. His silence was his power, his composure was his weapon, and his success was his final answer to the question Brenda had thrown at him. What can you even do? Michael proved that he could do everything. And he did. If this story resonated with you, don't let it stop here. Subscribe to this channel right now to hear more stories that challenge, inspire, and reveal hidden truths. Your voice matters. Leave a comment below and tell us what you think about what happened to Elijah. Do you believe justice was served? Also, don't forget to hit the like button to help this story reach more people who need to hear it. Share this video with someone who should know that even in the darkest moments, one phone call can change everything. Your support drives this channel forward. Thank you for being part of this community.